Hi friends, Chris Warden here. My friend Alec Hansen has become somewhat of a YouTube sensation recently, and for a guy who is pretty introverted and not necessarily one to turn the camera on himself, I was kind of inspired by what he's done in the last couple of years, and I decided to set up a camera and start telling some stories, and I wanted to do so in a way that was beneficial to people in my profession and share some funny anecdotal stuff and talk to some people within the world of content and storytelling and marketing media. And I wasn't really sure how to start this, so I needed a camera test and a lighting test and everything. So I thought of just a quick story that I wanted to tell. So way back in 2010, I was working for CrossFit, CrossFit Incorporated, and I was helping run the CrossFit Journal, doing abstracts, reviewing videos, shooting stuff. And Tony Budding called me. Tony was the director of media for CrossFit at the time, and he had called me a couple of weeks heading into the CrossFit Games. And he said, "Do you surf?" And I was like, I don't surf. I have tried it, but I'm not good at it. And I'm terrified of the ocean. I'm a strong swimmer, but not a strong ocean swimmer. And knowing Tony like I did, I said yes because I had an inclination that an opportunity was going to come in the future as a result of that question. So I said yes, and he said, "Okay, well, I'll call you back." And so a couple days, maybe a week or two goes by, and he calls me back, and he's like, "You ever shot any surf photography?" And I sort of, little white lie, said yes. I've shot a lot from the beach, but never in the water. And he's like, "Okay, get a water housing." And so I order the water housing, and I have effectively no idea what I'm doing. And the day before the CrossFit Games starts, he tells me that there's going to be a event on the beach in the Santa Monica Pier, or next to the Santa Monica Pier, and there's going to be swimming, ocean swimming, and he wants me to be the photographer in the water, capturing the swimmers coming around the first buoy. I was the director of photography, or the photo director for the games that year, and so taking my job seriously, I did the best I could, and so I paddle out into the surf. It's still pretty much pitch black out. It's very early in the morning. Barely understand what to do with the water housing. Very uncomfortable in the water, and a couple of lifeguards paddle out with me, and eventually I sort of slink off the side of my stand-up paddleboard as the heat's coming out into the water and starting to swim. Eventually my paddleboard floats away from me because, of course, I don't think to strap it to my ankle. It's also going to get in the way of the event, and I was still under the assumption that the lifeguards were next to me. And eventually I look around and I see the pack swimming out towards the buoy that I'm at. There's no lifeguards. I don't have a paddleboard anymore, and I'm out there by myself, and I'm terrified. And so I'm working the camera as best I can, as best as I can remember, messing with it the day before, and I fire off a million photos. And I must have gotten, I don't know, 3 or 4. And I was certain that I didn't get anything useful. And when I got back, I dumped the cards to our photo editing team, and I was really pleased to find that there were a couple of photos on there. And after a couple high fives for grabbing a couple great shots, I kind of walked it off as if I'd been doing this for forever. One of my favorite photos from that moment is a photo of Matt Chan coming around the buoy first. It could be better composed, it could be more clear, but the look on his face, I think, speaks volumes. And the kind of like balance between the big red buoy and his kind of like wide-eyed stare at the remainder of the swim that he had to do, I think makes a nice contrast. So that's my favorite photo from my experience at CrossFit, even though I've shot tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of CrossFit photos. From the professional standpoint at the CrossFit Games, this is definitely one of my favorites. I got a couple other decent ones in that setting. One of Rich Froning kind of early in his career with the Santa Monica Pier in the backdrop with the Ferris wheel and stuff. I thought that was kind of cool. And then I believe this is Annie Sakamoto. You can probably guess by the striations you can see in her shoulder. Not a lot of athletes at that time had that level of musculature, but still you get the nice pier backdrop in the back. And not sure who this one is, but ultimately the lesson in this was fake it till you make it is definitely risky, and I wouldn't advise anyone to pursue things via that strategy, but sometimes it works, and never turn down an opportunity. So this is a quick story that I just wanted to share. I want to try to keep these videos to 5 minutes or less, and it looks like I've already run over. Thank you to Alec Hansen for pushing me a little bit to set this up, and I look forward to talking to some people and telling some great stories. And yeah, thanks for watching.